In the top stories, Skelec begins load shedding exercise. Education Minister brings well wishes for new school year, and Education Minister assesses Washington Archibald High School building. The details to these stories and more after the break.
At Quartz Optical, we've got the perfect combination of style and value just for you. Shop from our wide range of stylish frames, and for a limited time, buy one and get a second pair at 80% off. We've got frames as low as $99. Ask about our affordable credit plans from 3 to 24 months. Make your appointment today at quartzoptical.com. Conditions apply. See in store for details. Quartz Optical. Value you can see.
Mosoka, 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 mosoka.
Hello and welcome to the ZIZ Major Newscast. I'm Jason Davis. The St. Kitts Electricity Company has begun a period of load shedding where parts of the island may be without power for certain periods throughout the day. We hear the details in this report. In an exclusive interview with ZIZ News, Skelec General Manager Clement Williams gave more information about the reasons for load shedding and what the public can expect. Load shedding is the process of reducing the strain on the power plant through scheduled power outages for certain periods, and Mr. Williams said there were several circumstances that led to this.
On Saturday, we had a failure on the G4 alternator, which led to us having to do the load shedding. Now, typically, the power station operates where if we lose 2 of our larger engines, then we will still be able to operate. Losing the engine on Saturday put us in a position where we are down 4 engines. So essentially, the power station is at half the capacity. Some of the other factors would include a failure on another alternator, G1. We are currently doing a scheduled overhaul on G9, which is a 33-year-old generator. And also we have some significant failures on some of the standby units at the power station.
He explained that the situation is ever-changing, and due to circumstances, sometimes areas might be without power longer than expected.
Now, what persons need to realize is that this situation is very dynamic, and we cannot necessarily predict how the engines are going to operate. So if on a day it's particularly hot, that might lead to additional constraints, which would then lead to longer periods. And what we will do as a company is try our best to communicate these shortcomings with the public. We predict that the load shedding will last approximately 1 month. Now, this is not set in stone, as our technicians are working day in, day out, try to increase our capacity. Now, increasing the capacity would simply mean a reduction in the amount of load that has to be taken off the system.
He also put to rest rumors circulating online that the outages were a result of sabotage.
Some of the misconceptions that I want people to get out their minds is that this is sabotage. There is no evidence whatsoever that there is any sabotage taking place at Skelec.
The schedule for the load shedding will be released on a nightly basis and would reflect any progress Skelec has made in meeting the electricity needs of the country. Meanwhile, Skelec's corporate communications manager Patrice Harris urged the public to take steps to prepare themselves for the outages.
At almost any point in time, we can see interruption of supply to communities that were not scheduled. So when there is indeed an outage, we are asking the customers to keep a flashlight near to them, especially if it's going to be a period of darkness. Purchase perishable items sparingly. Also invest in a data plan for your phone and minutes so that you can keep connected and so that you can follow Skelec's official media houses, including our Facebook page, as well as our website, so that you can be informed.
Ms. Harris encouraged everyone to only use information from Skellec's social media pages or website. Skellec says that during the load shedding period, maintenance persons will be doing their best to increase the load that the power station can handle, while at the same time the company will be looking at purchasing additional generators. Jason Davis for ZIZ News. Minister of Education, the Honorable Dr. Jeffrey Hanley, signaled the opening of the 2022-2023 academic year during his national address on Sunday. Minister Hanley used the opportunity to highlight a number of important issues, such as important dates, updated COVID-19 protocols, the annual back-to-school key message, personnel changes, and the ministry's goals.
Students within public primary and secondary schools, your first day of school will be on Wednesday, 7th September 2022. I expect you to arrive early and ready to work. We look forward to warmly welcoming our new entrants to preschool, primary and high school, and encourage you to bloom where you are planted. Your teachers are exceptional educators who give their very best to ensure that you are successful. Parents, we value your input and encourage you to become an active member of your school's parent-teacher association. Each year, the Ministry of Education chooses a key message to guide and inspire our students. This year is no different. Our key message for 2022-23 academic year is excellence is not a skill. It is an attitude by Ralph Marston. Let us encourage our children to live by these words.
He also announced a number of new appointments within the Ministry of Education. Lisa Romaine Archibald Pestana has replaced William Hodge as the new permanent secretary in the Ministry of Education.
At this juncture, I would like to thank Mr. William Vincent Hodge for his guidance, hard work, and direction as permanent secretary of the Ministry of Education over the past 6 years. We are extremely grateful and value the contribution he made to the education fraternity. With this being said, I am pleased to announce our new permanent secretary in the Ministry of Education, Mrs. Lisa Romaine Archibald Pistano. She has worked within the field of education for over 19 years, during which time she served as a teacher, principal, education officer, and deputy chief education officer. She brings a wealth of knowledge and experience to the post.
All significant dates, updated COVID-19 protocols, and other relevant school information can be found in the Ministry of Education's Guidelines for the Reopening of Schools document, which is accessible on its website, education.gov.kn. Meanwhile, ahead of the reopening of schools, Minister of Education, the Honorable Dr. Jeffrey Hanley, and a team visited the Washington Archibald High School on Saturday to assess the physical structure of the institution. The team consisted of Chief Education Officer Francil Morse, the school's principal Joanne Williams Sargent, Deputy Principal Avonel Martin, Engineer Joey Dean, and Architect Andy Cassius. In an interview with the Education Media Unit, Minister Hanley said that the ministry has started a series of school visits based on concerns shared from meetings with the management of schools. He shared what he has observed at the Washington Archibald High School.
What I've seen thus far is very depressing in some instances, and in other areas more rewarding. Depressing because I recognize that there are bathrooms that have been not occupied for the past 10 years because of renovation work that needs to be done. And I could imagine many reports would have been submitted by the school through education, As the new Minister of Education, I am not going to sit idly by and don't push to get the work done.
Minister Hanley also commented on recent repairs done at the school.
I must say it is very disheartening when you look at work that was recently done by contractors. It is extremely unacceptable, very sloppy. I've walked into rooms, the tiling on the floor, uneven, wires being exposed. I am not an electrician. The size of wire from my glands, they are too small, and that is why we have so many problems up at Washi with the electricals and at one time fire. And going forward, as the minister, we are going to pay special attention to persons whose jobs are awarded to, because when you get a contract to deliver and you don't deliver, you're not doing anything personal to the principal and her teachers. You are affecting the nation's youth.
He explained that the company of both the engineer and the architect on his team is to provide him with specialized insight into the scope of work that needs to be done at each institution he visits. In other news, Miguel Fleming has been named as the new permanent secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture. The announcement was made on Monday. He replaces Ron Dublin Collins as of the 1st of September. He has a master's degree in fish health and disease diagnosis, having studied in Taiwan at the National Pingtung University of Science and Technology. After the break, the Federation's Biosphere Reserve expected to secure training assistance in agricultural techniques, and Culturama to stage a toned-down prize-giving event. Stay with us.
Elevate your experience with Flow's fiber-fast internet and mobile combined. Enjoy double data and unlimited talk on 4 mobile lines, plus up to 35 megabits per second home internet speed at the best rate, giving you the best value to stay connected. I think our Flow mobile is elevated.
You think?
An elevated experience starts with Flow at home, powering double data and unlimited talk on 4 mobile lines at the best rate. Visit a Flow store to sign up today.
Mommy, where did you get all these groceries from?
When my mom was a child, my grandma was only able to provide just what they needed. When my mom got older, she was then able to provide what they needed and some. But now, with FlexPay, I am able to get everything we need and lots more with cashback.
Wow, Mom, I hope this never ends.
For the last 25 years, SN Hospice Company Limited has given customers millions in cashback for free groceries with every hire purchase in their never-ending cashback.
Welcome back. Stakeholders in the St. Kitts and Nevis's Man and Biosphere Reserve site in St. Mary's, Keon, received some good news from Ambassador to UNESCO, Dr. David Doyle. He announced the provision of major capacity building assistance from the UNESCO's Earth Network program. In a press release issued on Monday, UNESCO stated that after recently submitting a proposal, the MAB National Committee and the St. Kitts and Nevis National Commission for UNESCO learned that the UNESCO headquarters in Paris is preparing the technical support to fulfill the project request. The project seeks to address specific challenges associated with agricultural practices, tools, and methods of the St. Mary's Biosphere Reserve site, cultivation, preservation, and monetization of sustainable and biodiversity-led sustainable agricultural processes. The overall aim is to embrace better use of tropical forests, enhance enhance the cultivation of new fruits and combat soil erosion. It's expected that at least 2 leading biodiversity and ecological experts from UNESCO Earth Network's roster of volunteer experts with experience in tropical environments will visit the Federation and assist the members of the MAB National Committee to enhance the biodiversity and ecology of the St. Mary's Biosphere Reserve as early as mid-November this year. The Nevis Culturama Committee has decided to hold a toned-down prize giving for winners and participants of the recently concluded festival. According to messages seen by ZIZ, prize money would be distributed in phases from the Culturama Secretariat. During the 3rd week of August, contestants of the Talented Youth Pageant and Junior Kaisonians should have received their prizes. Swimwear and Mr. Cool contestants should have received theirs at the end of August, and this week Soca Monarch contestants should receive theirs as indicated by a message over the weekend. There was no indication of prizes as it relates to senior Calypsonians, Road March troops and any others. ZIZ News made several attempts to receive the information from the Secretariat, but there was no response. Culturama 48 ran from July 21 to August 2. 2 of Poise SKN's aerial arts dance students have left the Federation to travel to Cypress, Texas to participate in a week-long training intensive for pre-professional aerial and circus artists at Phoenix Aerial and Texas Circus from September 5 to 11. In a press release issued on Monday, Poise SKN stated that the teen aerialists Caitlin Wilson and Shakira Brown have both demonstrated a desire to learn and grow in this innovative dance form. They will participate in training in mixed apparatus, introduction to hand balancing, performance work, aerial silks, flying trapeze with and without catch, lyra hoop, open gym, flexibility and hammocks at the intermediate and advanced levels. According to founder and creative director Desi Brown, this trip is part of a series of opportunities for dancers at Poise SKN Institute of Dance to receive advanced training to improve their skills and expose them to higher levels of training. Poise SKN also stated that the trip was made possible by support from local businesses, including the Cable, which committed to developing a partnership with Poise SKN. Coming up in regional news, less than 10% of teachers reported for work in Tobago. The details when we come back.